Hey guys, James with Torches and Tactical, and today we're looking at what Fenix calls a rechargeable dual rear switch multi-purpose flashlight. Now, multi-purpose is because while it does have a lot of EDC tendencies, it does have instant strobe, so in a pinch it can be used as a tactical light as well. So not only that, but this gives you 3000 lumens from an SFT70 with a max beam distance of 475 meters, and that's all coming from that SFT70 powered by a 21700 cell battery. In addition to that, it does have an eco mode, which is 30 lumens and runs for up to 48 hours, low, which is 150 lumens, medium, 350 lumens, and a high, which gives you 1000 lumens. If you're a fan of those candela numbers, this does hit 56,600 candela and is impact resistant to 1 meter and IP68 waterproof. As far as those dimensions go, it is 152 millimeters by 34 millimeters at the head and a 25.4 millimeter body. So that 25.4 millimeters comes in right at 1 inch. So if you do decide to weapon mount this, simple 1 inch scope rings or 1 inch weapons mount rings or Picatinny rail mounts would be perfect for this. So let's go ahead and move this to the side for just a second, and let's focus on the package. Now, I am going to tell you right now that the box was a little beat up, and I don't blame Fenix for that at all. They sent this to me, and I've gotten a few lights from Fenix now. Every single one of them has been great. However, the carrier decided they wanted to be a little overzealous with their abilities to kick a package down the road, so to speak, and this box got a little bit beat up. However, it's still going strong and it does work just the same. Let's get the box out of the way. And as far as the interior packaging, I'm going to tell you now that Phoenix has done something that I don't know why no one else has done this before, or at least that I've seen. So they have a plastic piece on the back. So when you pull this out of the case, you're not going to have everything tearing out the back and just diving everywhere. What they do give you though is, well, this package here has a lanyard and some O-rings in case you need to service or you want to attach a lanyard to your TK20R V2. Let's go ahead and get that out of the way. In addition to that, you also do get, now this was actually wrapped around it, and this wants to let you know that you do need to remove the isolator before you first use that battery, and we already did that, so we're ready to go. Let's get that out of the way. And here's a little pamphlet that they include just to let you know some of the other lights that they have: CL26R, BC21R, HM70R, E18R, TK20R V2. Wait, hold on, that looks familiar. And the PD36R Pro. So let's go ahead and get that out of the way. You also have your warranty card, and if you fill this out and submit it, this is going to give you your lifetime warranty as well as a 5-year free repair. So that's one huge advantage to the premium that Phoenix gives you. Let's get that warranty card out of the way. And they also have their user manual. This user manual is going to, well, if you first open it up, you can see that you have a pictogram of your light here, and it walks you through everything and all the runtimes all in one convenient little chart. I really like how they did that. But if you keep opening it up, it's going to walk you through what you should and should not do with your light. And it's going to do that in a whole bunch of different languages. So this will give you all your specs and runtimes, as well as the best way to service and navigate through all of your different modes. So let's go ahead and get that user manual out of the way. Now they also did include a USB-C cable as well. It's USB-A to USB-C, just in case you need to top this up. And finally, one thing that I'm really glad that they did include is a Phoenix branded holster. Now, it is a little bit thinner and it does look a little more on the generic side if I'm being frank, but it does have the Phoenix logo here. It's really strong hook and loop. So you can fit the Phoenix TK30R V2, TK20R V2 inside here and carry it with you. Now this back area here, it does open up so you can fit your belt through this and it'll sit on the side of your pants, so you always have your TK20R V2 with you. Let's go ahead and get all of these accessories out of the way. And again, we can focus on the light. Now, let's go ahead and start at the business end, so to speak, and work our way down. So the business end, you do see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You do see 5 crenulations, or it looks almost like a king's crown right here. But these come up quite a bit, and they help protect that glass lens. and that long, smooth reflector. That long, smooth reflector, that, well, you can see that a little bit of that AR coating on that glass lens. But that long, smooth reflector is how this gets that 475 meters with that SFT70. And then we move down, and the head design looks a little similar for Fenix. I've seen this on a few of their lights, and I think it works really well. It's definitely a Fenix design cue, but we'll move down here. And one unusual thing you'll see here are these arrows. So you have a left and a right arrow as well as that use USB-C indicator. And that's because this does have onboard charging, but it's nowhere to be seen unless you know where you're looking. So we'll go ahead and unthread that. Now these have some wide threads, so it does unscrew pretty quick, but that actually exposes your USB-C cord. The USB-C charging port, and the USB-C cord that comes with it plugs right in, and then opposite that, 180 degrees, you do have a battery indicator. So this is going to let you know that when it's charging, it'll change as soon as it tops off and let you know exactly when it's done. So you can get back out and either put your TK20R V2 to work, or you can use it as your law enforcement tactical light, however you decide to. But we will keep moving down. So you see the TK20R V2, and this is really well done and looks nice and crisp and clean. There we go. I'll move in a little bit. And then we move to the battery tube. The battery tube has a lot of very shallow machining, so it gives you a lot of good grip, but it still maintains a bit of that soft feel to it. Now these long vertical machine marks right here, that's going to help as well if you need to take the tail cap off or help facilitate in that grip some more. Now the pocket clip, I mean, frankly, the pocket clip's nothing to write home about. It is kind of long, which I do appreciate, but it doesn't have that deep of a throat, and because of that, the tail cap will stick out still quite a bit when you have this in your pocket. That won't matter, of course, if you have it in the holster, but as it sits, if you decide to pocket carry this, it will stick out quite a bit. But I mean, maybe that's a positive for you. It'll make it easy to get the flashlight out just by grabbing onto that tail cap. And then we will move over to that tail cap. So the tail cap has a lot of design elements coming in right here. So we have a lot of machining grooves that will facilitate, again, that really nice grip in case you need to replace O-rings or swap out the battery or what have you. And so if you ever need to take that tail cap off, it's really easy to do so. But there are some circle marks as well as some. I mean, it looks a little bit like Morse code. You got your dots and your dashes and everything, but it's again, it's really well done. And you have a single side saddle coming on here, and each side of this is going to give you an opening so you can attach that lanyard. So here we go. Here's one on one side, and then we'll move it 180, and here's the one on the other side. So you can attach that lanyard to either side, which is really, really nice. But then we come down to the, I guess, other business end. So this has two rear tail switches. Now they call this one the functional rear tail switch and this one the tactical rear tail switch. And as you just saw, it kicked it directly into strobe mode. So there's a reason that they call it the direct tactical tail switch. And so let's go ahead and dive right into that user interface just so we can see exactly what they got for us. So let's go ahead and press this main functional tail switch. And here we go. So this is your 30 lumen eco mode. And then if you want to change it from here, all you got to do is hit that tactical switch, or while the functional switch is depressed, hitting the tactical switch will go ahead and change modes on it. So here we have 150 lumens, then 350 lumens, then high of 1000 lumens, and then turbo of 3000 lumens. So that will run through all of your different output modes. And if you ever want to go into a strobe mode while you have the light on, all you got to do is press and hold that switch for half a second. There we go. Yeah, so it is real easy. No matter what mode you're in, it is super easy to get to that rear tactical strobe. So we will digress and move on. Another thing you can do, like I showed earlier, is while the light is off, you do still have access to that instant strobe. So we will go ahead and press that tactical switch. And it operates in a momentary fashion if the functional switch is not activated. So this is a very, very straightforward user interface, and I'm really glad too, because sometimes when a light has EDC and tactical elements at play, it can seem a little convoluted just switching back and forth between them. So now what I want to do is I want to go ahead and compare the TK20R V2 to the brand new Sofirn SC28. Now, both of these could be considered dual use or multifunctional flashlights. The SC28 only has 2800 lumens, so a little bit less than the 3000 of the TK20R V2, but they do both have quite a bit going for each other as far as the ability to switch between a tactical mode and a EDC or I guess a general mode. So let's go ahead and get these outside. We can compare the beam patterns between the SFT70 and the XHP 50.2. And so let's go ahead and compare these so we can see how well they compare to each other. Um, I'm going to tell you now, with the difference in the lens, I do think that this is going to appear a little more neutral tint, and this is going to throw quite a bit further. Now, those domeless emitters or de-domed emitters, if you prefer that term, those de-domed emitters, those are going to, especially with a long, smooth reflector, those are going to help throw that light out there quite a bit. So let's go ahead and get outside and we'll compare the SC28 to the TK20R V2. Let's do it.
All right, guys, tonight we are going to be focusing on the Fenix TK20R V2. So let's just get straight into it. Here we go. I'm going to go ahead and start on the lowest mode, and I will ramp up. Now this is an SFT70. Now this is all 3000 lumens from the SFT70 in the TK20R V2. And so you guys can see it, we'll go ahead and press that tactical switch, and we have an instant strobe. So you can use this in a pinch as a tactical light. And to compare, we have the Sofirn SC28. Now this is only 2800 lumens, and it's an XHP 50.2, so quite a bit different. However, it's pretty similar as far as output's concerned, and it is a combination of EDC and tactical. So that's why I decided to choose this light for this comparison. Let's get into it. We have our Eco or Moonlight. We have our Low, Medium, High. Now this is all 2800 lumens from the SC28. And again, to run through real fast, here we have our lowest, ramping up again. And then we have all 3000 lumens with that SFT70. And with the SC28, this is all 2800 lumens. So you can tell this emitter has a bit of a dome on it, and it really wants to flood compared to the more focused beam of that SFT70. So all that being what it is, let's get back inside.
All right, guys, we are back. We went outside and we compared the TK20R V2 with that SFT70 and that long, deep, smooth reflector. We compared that to the XHP 50.2 with that unique kind of disco ball-esque effect from the optics in here. And I mean, I feel like I called it. I know I didn't say anything ahead of time, but I know that this one has quite a bit more flood, and this with its long, deep reflector is going to be kind of night and day. Now, I mainly chose the SC28 because of its tactical and general use abilities, just like the TK20R V2. But I don't know what you guys thought as far as the comparison between the, I guess, much more floody SC28 versus the definite long distance throw of the TK20R V2. So I guess it's all going to come down to whether or not you want the telekinesis is involved and we can control everything with our minds. But I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. So I really do like this light. And I think there's only one flaw that I found. And frankly, I'm not that big of a fan of it. When we took this bezel or this ring down here, and we looked at the charging indicator. 180 degrees of that is the battery indicator, and unfortunately, when this ring is up, that is completely hidden out of sight. So you're not really certain of exactly what your battery life is going to be at until it's too late. I like to be able to see a battery indicator just so I know ahead of time, and I'm not going to be surprised with, oh, I need light and I don't have it. I'm not a fan of that, but other than that, the TK20R V2 is a fantastic light. So I will tell you now that if the TKR20 V2 is something that you want to look into, I will go ahead and include a couple links down below of where you can pick up your own. And if you want to see this compared to anything else, I don't know, maybe a next torch where they have a lot of EDC and tactical tendencies, go ahead and let me know down in the comments below. So guys, that was my review on the TK20R V2. I really hope that you liked this video, and if you do, I hope that you share it with your friends and subscribe to the channel. If you subscribe to the channel, make sure you click on that bell notification, and that's going to let you guys know when we get new videos out and when we have a bunch of new giveaways coming up. So you can get your early entries into that, and maybe you'll win yourself a free flashlight. But guys, thank you so much for being here with me today. I really appreciate it, and we'll see you in the next one.